actually been changed a little bit for the BBC audience. Fanny Potty sat cross-legged on her Uncle John's front porch. The late afternoon sun cast its flickering light on the cabin. A steady hum of conversation flowed from inside.
Ellen, I am sure glad you came to church with us today. Why don't you spend the night? It's getting awful late, and it'll be dark before you get home.
Fanny and I'll be just fine, Sally.
I just don't like it. Two pretty young gals like yourselves out in the dark, especially with Charlie Wyatt out of jail.
Now what are you going on about?
Charlie Wyatt was in jail for killing his wife and baby child. He escaped last night.
And what has that got to do with us?
You know it was your Elijah who put him in jail in the first place.
Oh, now stop your fussing. We'll be fine. We do need to get on, though. Fanny, get your shawl. Ellen kissed her younger brother goodbye and hugged Sally gently. Then she picked up the lantern and took Fanny's hand. Finally, the pair proceeded on their 3-mile trek back home.
Mammy, is Mr. Wyatt going to get us or put him in jail?
No, child. Your Aunt Sally just worries too much. The sun's last rays began sinking behind the tree-studded mountains. Shadows rose ominously from the dense woods. Finally, night enveloped the landscape, and all that could be seen was the faint glow of the lantern and the flickering, shadowy figures behind it. We'll rest a while, child. My guess is we have less than a mile to go. Ellen set the lantern down, and the weary travelers rested.
Mammy, it's so scary in the dark. Will God watch over us and protect us?
Yes, Fanny. Remember what the preacher said. The good Lord is always with you. When you need his strength, just call on his name. While contemplating her mother's advice, Fanny was distracted by a sound. The slow, methodic sound was someone walking and coming in their direction.
Mammy, do you hear that?
Hear what, child?
There's somebody else a-coming.
You're just imagining things, Fanny. But we best be moving on. Ellen picked up the lantern and the two resumed their journey. After a while, the sound that had so unnerved the child began again, but this time more distinct and definitely closer. The ringing of heavy boots echoed in the dark.
Mammy, I hear it again.
Hush, child, there is nothing out there. Fanny secured the grip on her mother's hand and clutched her rag doll tightly. We'll be home soon, child. Yonder's the last band.
But Mammy, it's getting closer.
Child, there is nothing out there. Tell you what. Let's sing. Fanny joined with her mother, but her voice quivered with fear as the heavy steps came closer. Her mother seemed oblivious to the sound. It got closer and closer, but Ellen's singing just got louder and louder. A dog barking in the distance brought the singing to an abrupt end. See, child, we're almost home. Old Tink will be running up to meet us. Big old Tinker, he's chased mountain lions before. He'll see us safely home.
Let's hurry, Mammy. Can't you hear? It's getting close, and I'm scared. Let's run.
All right, child. See, I'm telling you, there is none. Fanny, run. The two nearly fell as they ran up to the familiar path home. Once inside the cabin, Fanny ate supper and was tucked into bed. The comforting sounds of her parents' voices and even the snores of her brothers made her thankful that they were safely home. However, before closing her eyes, Fanny heard her mother's voice ringing in her ears, and she could not sleep. Lige, I heard the steps too. I didn't want to frighten the child anymore, so I kept singing and swinging the lantern. But before we got off the tracks, I saw who was following us. It was Charlie Wyatt. He's coming for us. Ellen, let's take this to the Lord right now.